Hey, everybody. uh, it's Ron from Ron's Computer Videos. Hey, I actually remembered to turn the microphone on this evening. I've got you in the lobby. Let me actually bring you down to two cameras. Hi, how's it going? This is kind of very awkward because this is actually normally like the desk that I kind of work from, and I've got like camera one, camera two, and I went ahead and I put the higher resolution, higher um, frame rate camera down here because I figure you guys would get more out of this than you would out of looking at my mug. So I think what we're going to go ahead and do is test some RAM this evening because my good friend Javier it just put together. He actually was working on a project with my other good friend Joe from Joe's Computer Museum, and what they've been working on is he has a color classic. I'm gesturing with my hands as if you could see my hands that are off camera. He has a color classic, and what he had done to it is basically did a Mystic upgrade. And what that does is it replaces the stock motherboard, which is a uh, it's like a 16 megahertz 68030. So it's basically like a Macintosh LC2. So it's got like a 10 megabyte RAM ceiling. It's not really all that great of a machine. It was not great when it was new because it was mostly just sort of a machine sold to education, something cheap. It was like the original LC is basically a Macintosh 2 all compressed down into a tiny little package so you could sell schools. The LC2 is not much better. It's got the same limitations. It's basically just got a 68030 instead of a 68020, and here I'm gesturing in 30 frames a second, so it doesn't look too good. Um, and yeah, so it's not super great, but it has like a 10 megabyte RAM ceiling. But you have to install 12 megs of RAM to do that. Anyway, it's a very popular upgrade to do this Mystic upgrade where you take the motherboard out of a like a LC575 Performa 475, which is like a 68040 machine, and put that in that other machine with just a little bit of board modification. So anyway, but the thing is this is Javier doesn't have a bunch of RAM. He doesn't have a bunch of RAM, and he needs a bunch of RAM so that he can go ahead and max that machine out, which I think the max on that is like 36 megabytes. So not a ton of RAM, but it's a ton of RAM for that era, and should be good enough. But anyway, hey, let's do a tiny bit of let's do some welcomes in the chat, and then let's get some a little bit of clear the decks on some of the other stuff that I've got to do. Hey, Tom Barber, thank you very much for showing up this evening. I really appreciate it. Spirit Walker Adventures, a new friend of mine from Twitter, thank you so much for showing up this evening. RetroTechie is here as well. Hulkintosh himself, Adam is here. Joe's Computer Museum, Eric Miller. I need to brag on Eric Miller for just a second. You may know him on Twitter. It's he explained to me what it means the other day, but he'll tell you in chat. But he's got a like a initialism. Is that it? Because it's each letter represents a word. However that works. Anyway, but there was a pickup that I needed. I didn't really need, but I really wanted. It was a PowerBook 180C and a portable StyleWriter printer. But it was somebody kind of out in the middle of nowhere, Michigan, and I didn't really know anybody close, but Eric was very, very kind, and he agreed to go and make this pickup for me and then get it in the mail. A super nice guy. Can't say enough good stuff about him. Thank you, Eric. Thank you. Who else is here? It's that Joe from Joe's Computer Museum, that guy. Now, Joe was very nice. He was helping me with a project earlier today, trying to figure out some caps on my PowerBook 100. Also want to say hello to David Ross. David, thanks for showing up. Thanks for being my Twitter friend. I always like reading your posts. Also want to say good evening to John. John Mounts is here. Everybody, it's John. Also wanted to say I saw him down the list here. There was a bunch of people talking back and forth. RetroTech Chris is here as well. So if you haven't checked out Chris's channel, he does like a really cool, or he does a lot of really cool stuff that's just like weird stuff that you would never think about doing, but when you do it, you're like, wow, this is really interesting. You need to check out his channel. He does like all kinds of cool DOS stuff on there. So definitely check him out. All right, so let's clear the decks. Housekeeping, guys. Okay, here we go. I want to thank everybody, all my wonderful patrons out on patreon.com. Here are just some of the kind people that are giving me just a tiny, tiny fraction of their child's, college money to be supporters of mine on Patreon, which you can support me for just as little as $1 per month. Just $1 per month, get your name in the credits of all of my videos and get you a nice little mention here. If you're one of my newer subscribers, I try to go out a little bit, or a little bit on my way to give you extra promotion. But yeah, Eric Miller, is SDGOL, and he'll explain in the chat what that means. Justin Morgan, you guys know him from YouTube and from kind of the Macintosh community. Real nice guy. And then I don't have their names on here yet, and I feel like an inch tall for not being prepared, but Mike from Mike's Mac Shack also is now one of my new $1 a month patrons. Let me bring up the relationship manager so I can absolutely make sure to make mentions for everybody. Yeah, so Mike Stanhope, Mike's Mac Shack, definitely check his stuff out. He needs to get over 1,000 subscribers. Let's see if we can make that happen. I also want to thank my good friend Philip Mantrasoto. I've known Phil for the better part of like 25 years. Really nice guy. He does a lot of 3D printing stuff for me, and he runs a website that's called Philtography. So if you lived in Southeast Missouri and you're interested in getting some photography done for your special event, reach out to Phil. He's a very professional and kind man. Also want to say thank you. Actually, I guess I can pull back away from this because their names aren't actually on that thing. Retroviator, Wes Kelly. So thank you, Wes. I really do appreciate it. We've started talking more on different projects and things like that. Really nice guy. Ian Scott, I want to thank Ian. He has a website. I can't remember what the heck it is, but I will make sure to put that, maybe figure that out and put it in the description. And then I also want to thank Eric, who has a very long last name. So Eric Busalachi. I don't know. I'm saying it incorrectly, and I'm sure I've just lost his $1 a month. But we will see how it goes. So, Eric, thank you so much. But those are my latest subscribers. I probably need to put something out on the Twitters about that as well, and we'll do that eventually. But anyway, let's get to the reason why we're here this evening. I have already wasted 12 minutes of your precious, precious time. Let's test some RAM. And if viewers at home that kind of remember maybe last year, I went to Computer Reset, and this is just part of the RAM that I purchased at Computer Reset. This is a nice little tray. It says Technical Survivor. Whoops, sorry. Let me see if I can do it where I don't get a shadow. Oh, there we go. Technical Survivor 2000. I don't know the story behind it, but this was a RAM tray that was also there. I pretty much bought all of their 30-pin RAM. Just because they were like, I was kind of wandering around. I was like, well, I don't know what to buy. And they were like, well, you should buy something because you came all this way. So I was like, yeah, I've got all these old Mac projects. I need to do that. And then I also have just a mess of 72-pin RAM that I need to check. So I also said as part of this, I really wanted to try to do a little bit of a giveaway. And so what we'll do is I figure I will give away, we'll see how big this RAM is. If I have 72-pin sims written on here, but I certainly don't know what the capacities are. So what we'll do is the way you enter, I've got it described in the YouTube description, or the YouTube notes rather. You basically go out to that thread and you just leave a comment, and then what I'll do is I'll do a drawing on Monday and I'll notify via Twitter who the winners are. Of course, I'll go ahead and I'll record all the stuff just like I always do out on the thing. Or I might just do it as a live stream, just a short, just a quickie, just to do that. That'd be kind of a fun. Do a giveaway short. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, and then I'll let the winners choose which prize they would like. Because I've probably got enough of this to go around. But I would say probably like one prize would be like 4 30-pin Sims. And then 4 4-megabyte 30-pin Sims. So that way you could max out, or not really max out, but like have a decent amount of RAM in like an SC30 or in a Mac 2 or like, you know, maybe upgrade your LC, something like that. I don't know. And I have a couple extra sticks laying around. You know what? You'll figure out what to do with it, and I'll just let people choose. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's talk about this cool sim tester that I have right here. This is the Sim Check, and I actually purchased this a little while back. It's made by a company called Innovations Incorporated. So, because I think like all the witty names were taken. But what SimCheck allows you to do is, actually I bought this from someone here in Canada. Oh, Eric Helgeson just came into the chat. Eric, it's great. Helgeson. Eric Helgeson. I'll get it right, man. Don't worry. One of these days. So maybe not a Mac 2. Well, some of these are PAL Sims, actually. So if somebody did have a Mac 2 and won, I do know that I do have some PAL Sims as well. Because I sent some to Ariana recently because she was doing like a Mac 2 upgrade. So I'm pretty sure I have some of those too. So the winner will try to get them exactly what they need. And if I don't have what I need, I'll trade for it and I'll get them what they need. Okay. Tom Barber asks in the chat, are you really living if you have less than 128 megabytes and an SE30? I would say you're probably living more if you have less, unless you have a Raminator, because ain't nobody got time for a 5-minute power on self-test of RAM on those machines. It's maybe longer than 5 minutes. I don't know who has time for that. Conceivably somebody, but I guess with an SE30 or something like that, maybe you're running AIX on it. Maybe you didn't turn it off very often. Don't know. But Joe says, it's getting awfully blue in here. Sorry, I'm excited. So I'm trying to, is it the camera? Is it kind of got a blue tone? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I think Adam is kind of on the ball there. Like SE30, probably 8 or 16 megabytes is going to get you like everything you want to do, especially since it's black and white. That's a real limitation. I mean, if you had like a video expansion or something like that, it'd be pretty cool. I'm really hoping that we get to a point where somebody figures out like on the oh yeah, Joe's working on all these blue scuzzy stuff. Like he ordered 50 PCBs but 25 kits worth of equipment. So good on you, Joe. But yeah, I would say that like 8 or 16 megabytes. Sorry. What I'd really like to see him do is get some SCSI video support on raw SCSI. That'd be pretty neat. And then you could definitely have like potentially color video out on some of those older machines that just are kind of locked in with that. And for people that don't want to maybe install a RGB to HDMI or something. But anyway, all right, let's test some RAM. SimCheck. It was is a product from our good friends at Innovations Incorporated. I think they're a Canadian company. I sure don't remember this exact model. This is the regular SimCheck. There is an expansion module. This one, which I do have, of course. And there are some tests and things like that you can do, but we're just going to do the standard test this evening, which is pretty easy and quick. So. John asks in the chat, have there been any speed tests between Blue, RAW, and SCSI to SD? Yes. Our good friend Bruce over at Brackus Creations did a speed test video. I don't know if RAW SCSI is in there. I would just assume it would be ever so slightly faster, but you're still limited by the maximum theoretical throughput of the SCSI bus in whatever Mac you have. I would say that a SCSI V6 or SCSI to SD V6 might have a performance difference on machines that support SCSI 2, just because that does support some SCSI 2 modes. But I don't know if it's enough to justify the cost, but that will be up to you as a consumer, I suppose. And Tom Barber just says, yes, there is Roskazi video development in the works. So that'll be really neat. That'll be really cool. I would think, though, that for a lot of my projects, Roskazi might be overkill. But again, it all comes down to, I'm kind of one of those people where I'm like on the fence about how useful is networking on certain old Macs. I would say if you had a Macintosh that was fast enough to really take advantage of networking. So maybe you've got a SE30 that's got like a 040 accelerator, or like, that's also got like video out or something like that. Maybe you've got like a really cool specific thing. But most of the Macs that I would actually use networking on have networking built in. So I'm kind of on the fence on that. But anyway, again, that's for people to kind of duke out in the comments. But all right, so let's go ahead. And I have this module right here. They have an expansion module. Well, they actually have several expansion modules. And I bought all these at the same time from the same seller. I think it was a guy in Canada. Real nice guy. But this right here is in the, what do they call this? The RamCheck 2 expansion module. And what this allows you to do is this allows you to test 72-pin SIMs. The way that this works is there's a auxiliary sort of power supply that you have to use. I have those as well. I think, I can't remember who was asking me about it, if it was Joe or if it was Steve, that they were like, oh, I've got everything else, but I don't have the power supply. So I've got an extra power supply. Maybe we can work something out. So, but you have to disconnect, as you can see from the big caution sticker that I stuck back on there, is you have to disconnect from the stock power brick and use the auxiliary charger or auxiliary brick when you want to use this. Because I think if you don't do that, you can actually damage your base unit or something. So we will not be damaging a base unit tonight. But as you can see, this one, it does 72-pin SIMs just right out of the box, and then there's that 40-pin or 40-bit expansion port. And what that does for you is this was yet another upgrade that you could buy. And basically, oh man, whoa, lordy, it's getting ugly. Oh, and I turned it on. Anyway, all right, so it's getting ugly because there's expansions and expansions. But basically, this plugs in the 40-pin expansion. The guy wanted to get rid of everything, so I bought this too. But this will let you test PC 133 memory and unbuffered PC 133 memory. I'm pretty sure if you put a buffered sim in here, it'll just insta-fail. But yeah, this module here just plugs in down into that 40-pin expansion header. And yeah, so you can test... it wasn't me, is what Joe says. So it's probably Steve, who is like right now just steaming because he had a 9-hour stream all planned, and I have rained on his parade. So let's get to testing some RAM. Oh yeah, kind of the neat thing about this as well is not just SIM memory, but also SIP memory, which is really, really handy as well. Because I also bought all of their SIP memory at Computer Reset, and I will test all of their SIP memory this evening. So here we go. All right, so let's go ahead. We're 30 minutes into the stream, and we ain't done a damn thing. So since the SIP memory predates the SIM memory, let's go ahead and test that first. If everybody is familiar with SIP memory, basically the SIM single inline memory module. So SIP is a single inline package, I think is correct. If I'm not correct, please feel free to correct me in the comments. So, but the idea is though that you will like earlier boards just had like, pin headers, and you'd stick these in there, and then later they replaced that with actual let's make sure. Am I doing this correctly? Am I doing it right? Maybe not. They replaced it with, because it was just easier. It's easier. It's cheaper. It's that's how things go in this world. All right. So fingers crossed. I've got everything lined up correctly here. Feels like it's in the socket. If I turn this on and we get fire, then we'll know. Okay, so as we can see down here on the display, okay, I've got a module inserted up here at the top. Don't know if it's really making a good connection, but you can hit different buttons to do different things. F1 is just the basic test. Oh yeah, it don't see it. All right, so let's go ahead and let's reseat our sim, or SIP rather. All right, it don't like in the likey, and I know there is one of these that's bad because I did look at it earlier today just to see. So all right, let's see if I can get another one of these in here. All right, let's see. Well, I might be doing something wrong. It wouldn't be the first time. So I do have some other 30-pin sims. Let's maybe give one of these a shot. You, from memory, you kind of lean everything back. You get everything lined up. Rock it forward. And there you go. We've got it in the socket there. Hey, what do you know? It's doing things. And the nice thing about this is it will also identify what the module is. So this is a 4M by 8, 50 nanosecond. I don't always trust the... because it will go through and it will try to kind of exhaustively figure out what the speed of the RAM is. Is it insert, open, and then close? Yeah, I was probably doing it backwards. It wouldn't be the first time that I've screwed something up, so we will certainly give that another try. Adam says, Ron, the lever goes from open to the lock position. I'm doing this upside down, guys, so please also keep in mind that I'm not only just like grossly incompetent, but I'm also grossly incompetent and upside down here. So that will definitely cause some problems. But anyway, but what you can see here, Joe says, "Where's my sip?" Yeah, it's a real shame about Unknown Henson, and I've seen him in concert a couple times. Danny Baker is the guy's real name, and he absolutely is the guy that does the early Kyler. He used to do early Kyler's voice before he got canceled on Squidbillies. Amazing rockabilly, amazing musician. Used to play with the Boxmasters. That was Billy Bob Thornton's band. Really amazing. Yeah, but keep your opinions about Dolly Parton to yourself, because people are going to react negatively to that. So it's, stay in your lane, maybe, if you don't want something bad to happen. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and, so you saw F1, and again, what it's going to do is it's going to, oh yeah, it's doing some testing there. Oh yeah, and it'll also do heat testing. I forgot that too. It'll try to warm your, or try to like amp up the voltage just a tiny bit to try to really look for defective things in your RAM. So that's pretty neat. John in the chat says, by the way, I believe I figured out my Vidix Enhancer 2 problem. Turns out that one of the pins had intermittent connectivity, and yeah, that'll do it. That's for sure. Let's go ahead and we'll escape. We'll get out of that test there. So, but what you can do is, again, F1 is the basic test, and then you can, I think we can kind of scroll through and do different things. F2 is diagnostic. F3 is, yeah, you can go through and you can set all sorts of like extensive tests and things on these. But the basic test, if you're just trying to like get the information about the chip, this will definitely do it for you. So this here, again, it says 50 nanosecond. I don't know how. Can you guys read that okay in chat? I mean, I tried to give you the best camera that I've got. But again, it is kind of zoomed a little bit. Maybe I might be able to zoom it out just a tiny bit, maybe. Maybe that might give you... Is that a little bit clearer, maybe? You guys will have to let me know. Let's see, maybe we can adjust our exposure and our right. Yeah, let's check white balance there. Yep. All right. So if you leave it in there, it tries to do some extensive or some additional testing. So what is that? Noise reduction? Oh, baby, look at that. That looks illegible. All right, so we will leave that be. I'm gonna quit trying to change the formula of Coke to Pepsi here. All right, so the yeah, it was just doing it. Yeah, this is doing the extensive test, so you can see it's like march up, march down. It's like it's writing information to the sim different ways. I just figure I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna test this thing of RAM. I'll test some of these 30 pins because this is the last of the stuff that I have not tested, just because I actually lost this tester until recently. It was under a box, under another box, and it was just hidden. I couldn't find it. So it made it really tough to get anything done for people. But now that I've found it, hey, if you've got RAM and you want to know exhaustively, you know for sure if it is bad, send it to me. I'll be happy to cover return shipping, just for the fun of doing it. Maybe we'll turn it into a party. We'll zoom in, have a Zoom meeting, and test some RAM. Wouldn't that be exciting? It won't be. All right. So, is the light level low? It might be over here because I don't really have... I do have my key light. Oh, I'm pointing up there as if you can see. I do have my key light. I can bring the brightness up on that. Give me 1 second. Oh, it's set. Yeah, it's set really low. Is it helping? Oh man, it's making me look better. I can bring it all the way up. Oh my gosh. It's I have nothing to do with the murder of Sarah Palmer. I didn't do it. I did not hit her. Mark. All right. Maybe that's a little bit better. Okay, so it went through and it did the extensive test. And in that extensive test, it appears to be complete and it says it's okay. And so we can hit escape and we can eject the RAM. So this RAM module right here, if we were to actually look at it, oh, Lordy, let's see. Can I get a focus? If this was AVE, he'd be like, focus you F. Real nice guy. Real nice guy, that guy. All right, so can we get a focus here? Are we gonna focus? Wouldn't it be great? Can you do it? You can do it. Promise you can do it. Can't do it. All right, so let's see what it actually says. It says, I guess I can just throw that card away rather than try to put it away. Wow, it does say -5, so this was saying it was 50 nanosecond. That's hold on, let me get my old man light. My old man light says, or tells all. No, this is 6. So I would honestly say that these are probably, it says 50 nanosecond on there, but I would definitely say 60 is safer, just because I don't always trust how aggressive things are, and especially if you're going to put this in a retro machine. Is there really some kind of 386 machine that you would be like, oh yeah, I've got to have? You don't understand. DFI said I have to have 50 nanosecond sims, or otherwise, the machine will just, DOS 622 is just going to lock up on me. It's not going to work. All right, so let's see. Let's go ahead and we'll test another one. This is in the same batch. I've got several of these. I've actually got a set of 4. If these all test good, 50 nanosecond, 4M by 8. Is that 4 megabyte? 4M by 8, 30 pin. Yeah, that's 4 megabyte. So yeah, this would be not too bad. Especially since looking at some of these different places, might be between $5 and $7 maybe a piece. So yeah, that's probably not a terrible price. So somebody get this guy a fill light. Where the hell is the... Yeah. Where's my grip? Get my grip in here. Actually, I have 2 of these key lights, but the problem is I sit so close to the machine. It's it's really kind of overpowering. So, uh, with what I do, I'm so close. There's not like I mean, there's some harsh shadows like that, but if it's just me sitting here, the shadows aren't that harsh, I don't think. So I have not set up the other key light yet. There's, you can buy, Elgato has a really nice key light. It's called the Key Light Air, and you can put it on your Wi-Fi network, and you can, Adam is there with the math. He says, yeah, because 8 bits per chip, 8 times 4 equals 32 bits. Why not? So, but the Key Light Air, you can put it on your Wi-Fi network, and you can basically, there's a phone app, there's an app for your computer, PCs and Macs, that you can go through and basically just kind of dial in your color temp, dial in your brightness and all that, and you can actually even power it off with the app. So you don't have to physically go and turn off the switch, because if you turn it off and turn it back on, it's got to rejoin your Wi-Fi network, which it's pretty easy. It's pretty painless, because what you do is actually, to get it configured, you put your phone or your laptop or whatever kind of on your 2.4 gig network, and you put this into like find mode, and you basically connect to it, and then your device will share the Wi-Fi settings to it. It works really, really well, and it was very, very quick to set up. Elgato doesn't give me any money. I wish they did, because man, I'd save some money on some equipment. But the camera I'm using, I know Joe just bought a really nice new Logitech 4K camera. This is just the Elgato Facecam, which is just a HD camera. I don't think it's any higher than that. I think it's just, oh yeah, I think it's 4K, but at 30 FPS, and I was really wanting to go 60 FPS because, hey, look at that. Ain't that beautiful? Versus on this camera. So, all right, so how do we do on that? So that one passed as well. So looking good. So let's go ahead and let's pull that. Oh yeah, it's gonna fail. I bet it is gonna fail. If I do that. Okay. Something tells me you're really supposed to power this off between changing modules, but you know, I just gotta live dangerously. These are dangerous times. You gotta live dangerously. Alright, let's go ahead and we're gonna do a... Oh. Alright, let's try this again. Hold on. I didn't get it locked in place. There we go. Okay. Alright, let's do our test again. As you can see, you know what? I actually have, from the other batch of stuff, I actually have like probably an hour of footage of me testing RAM. Kind of back when I thought that maybe that doing long form videos was the way to get your watch hours up. Turns out it's not. It is not the way to get your watch hours up. The way to get your watch hours up is with live streams, because with your live stream you can very easily go through and get 200 hours in like one go. I am sure that on some of these longer format videos that Breckus Creations or Joe has done, or Steve has done, or Jay from House of Moth, or any kind of those long format guys. Jay from House of Moth hasn't done anything recently. Get on it, Jay. I want to see some new stuff. And more than that, I want you to invite me to your live stream just for 10 minutes. Just 10 more minutes. Just 10 more minutes. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Oh yeah, Dave's Vintage Apple Tech is here. Dave, I saw that you finished up your Raminator project. You've got me inspired to get a Raminator for my Mac Plus. I think that is probably the next thing that I'm going to do on that, other than try to retro bright it. Because I've got a Platinum Plus, but it looks like a Beige Plus. So we will get that cleaned up, I think, one of these days. But David Ross says, as long as we can see you run, your stream is fine. Well, thanks, I appreciate it. Dave said, or I'm sorry, Joe from Joe's Computer Museum. I mean, I'm on camera, but I really can't say that I can perform. I think you do really well. I really like it when you host retro repair roundup, just because you do keep the conversation going. I tend to get mired in things. especially stuff that I find amusing, which maybe the audience doesn't. I've got kind of a strange sense of humor, so there are times that I think things are funny, or like something that's worth maybe like the avenue that we should take that maybe other people don't. I see Rudy giving me the stink eye sometimes. So he'll come around, I think. Rudy will come around. But Tom Barber says the Ramen Eater is really cool, and K Koba, the seller of the kit, is a really cool guy. I have no doubt. So I've got to get one. I got to get one ordered. The Plus is a pretty cool machine. I'm just saying that if you could absolutely, hey, there you go, looking good. I'm thinking that a SCSI to SD, cause let's just be honest, like the Plus is not really even a SCSI machine, just because the standard was not really finalized kind of at the time. So I would say that SipSim power. Okay, that's fine. Oh yeah, it cuts the power, because I'm pretty sure they didn't want you like swapping the damn thing all the time. So the maybe I should stop looking at the camera when I'm doing this. Maybe I should just do it with my eye bulbs. And again, I'm doing this upside down, which is like a pain in the tuchus. All right. Load failure. All right, well, hold on. Give it another try. All right, there we go. I forgot where I was going with that. That's all right. We'll get back around to it. Yeah, David Ross says, Joe does a great job hosting. He does. I like it when he takes his earbuds and just leaves him hanging. He looks like Joe Rohde. So I can ask him all my imagineering questions about Animal Kingdom down there at Disney. John says, shouldn't video cameras for retro shows be 480i? Yes. Based on the looks of some of the hosts, yeah, 480i would probably be better for the audience, but that's all right. So this is yet another 50 nanosecond sim. So yeah, this will be a good setup. Actually, isn't Steve working on a video right now that's like eyesight? Like he's like a Firewire eyesight camera to shoot all the video, and he's editing it all on a G4 or something like that. I don't want to say that if it's not true, but I could swear that he had said that he was doing something like that, or he had teased a couple photos maybe on Twitter of him doing that. I don't know. We'll have to check that out. But it sounds like a fun idea. I did do like a completely retro thing. I keep wanting to find, if anybody has any of those Sony Mavicas that use the floppies, especially like, I think it's the FD200. It's like the very last one that used floppies. If anybody has one of those that they want to sell or potentially just loan me, that would be really great, because I think that I've got like a neat idea for a project for one of those that I would really like to just give it a shot, rather than, because most of the ones, especially if it's working, if you go on YouTube, most of the time people that are selling them out there, they just say for parts, and it's probably because a lot of them are kind of at the end of the life, or they don't know, they don't have a charger, they don't have a battery, a lot of stuff, and so it's kind of tough to I don't want to spend $20 and have it be bad, because that's happened to me quite a bit lately, where I'll buy something and it'll be untested, and it's really because it's bad. So it's like, if you've ever purchased anything off of Japanese auctions, Japan, everything out there is listed as junk, or anything old is listed as junk, or because nobody wants to take the responsibility of it being like, oh yeah, I sold this thing and it's dead, it's no good. I think I'm hitting buttons when I'm sliding the thing back there, so I think that's why we're getting errors there. But nobody wants to take the responsibility of something really being bad and then being on the hook to pay import to get it back from, you know, a different hemisphere. So, all right, so there we go. It is open. It is open. We're gonna drop our. Oh, yeah, this is the bad one. All right, we're gonna save that for last. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're gonna put our sim in there, and then let's go ahead and let's lock her down. All right. It appears to be locked in. We'll see. No, I'm doing it wrong. All right, let's turn this off. Let's try it again. No, I'm doing something wrong here, folks. All right, that sure appears to be in there. No. Are you telling me that I can't test SIPs anymore? Come on now. Oh, there we go. All right, here we go. Standby mode is initiated. You activate sim check. The actual test insert. Okay, hold on. Let's try this again. Oh, what am I doing wrong here, folks? I tested this in the past. Is it no longer a thing? No, there's it basically doesn't like it just works. All right, we could certainly check out the menu, but I'm fairly certain from memory. Oh no, wait, I'm doing it wrong. Okay, hold on. You guys could read this. Why didn't you tell me that it said not connected? I had the sim. It was too far down. I probably cooked this poor sim. Okay, that feels a lot better in there. Let's see if we get some flamage here. Oh, looky there. No flamage. Yeah, it says not connected. Why didn't you bozos tell me that? Ah, you're killing me. All right. Anyway, there you go. This is a 1x9, so this is parody. This is a parody sim, 1x9, because 1x8 is non-parody. So this is all right. Let's do an extensive test on this mamma jamma, because it ain't gonna go very long. Oh, look at that. You see, it's moving moving the voltage around. Fast page mode feature test. Okay, passes that. Okay. Yeah, this is the voltage bounce. It's trying to make it fail, is what it's trying to do. So I can't read tiny text. Well, I did zoom the camera back a little bit. Let's bring the camera back in. All right, normal view. Normal view. Normal view. Normal view. Normal view. Yeah, no, it does not mean neat cool. It means not connected. Get a better camera. Get out of here, Eric Miller. This is normally $200. It's normally like $200. This Elgato face cam. It was down to like $160 right before Christmas. So I figured, might as well. John says, I can read pen 1, but red on black is not easy to read on the stream. Yeah, I can see it. I'm looking in what the heck do you call this program? OBS. I'm looking at the OBS, and it's probably pretty easy to read, but not maybe super easy to read in person upside down. Joe says my 4K camera was $160. Well, I'm pretty sure that the Elgato face cam is also 4K at 30 frames a second. If you go up to 60 FPS, then you got to drop to 1080, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I'd rather have 60 FPS 1080 and look like a Mexican soap opera than have 4K at 30 FPS. I don't know. That's just my thing. So, but it's yeah. Speaking of, when are you going to get an album with Ron, Joe, and Steve singing? I completely spaced out about Joe's project, which I won't reveal here, but it is a singing project. And I am sorry, Joe. If it's not too late for me to get in on that, I'd love to get in on that. So we could definitely. Oh yeah, it's doing the loop test, which takes like 3 minutes, so we're not going to do that. So all right, so hey, what do you know? It is a 75 nanosecond or like 80 nanosecond. Software count was 0. So yeah, this is a good stick of RAM, y'all. I'm excited. A good stick of RAM. All right. Well, sorry. It's a good SIP. It's a good SIP module. Ron, it's not too late. I hope it's not too late for you to whip it and whip it good. So I'll have to get in on that. It's I'm not so sure it's how good of a singer I am, but but I guess it doesn't really matter for that part of the song that you're wanting. So we shall see. Oh, son of a diddly. All right, hold on. Let's get this. I think it helps if you push it to the front of the slot and then lock it down. No. Error address lines. Oh, well, this is the bad one. And this is a different error. It says address lines. So I guess I'll have to send this to Joe to have him resolder my RAMs. I wonder if I were to just heat this up with a hot air, if it would start behaving. I mean, I'm not out anything. It's a 30-pin sim that has legs on it. It's not like it's like a one-of-a-kind thing. All right, there we go. So we'll keep testing. But yeah, I have, maybe you can read that. It says bad on it. I wrote that on there a while back. Bad, pin 7. Yeah, I think I actually went all the way and did the exhaustive test on this one. And it'll identify what is wrong with it in a big way. So, oh, okay. Joe says, hey, I was actually going to post a test version of it for my patrons. So let me know, or please send me a Twitter message. Remind me exactly what you need of that song. And which I think is just kind of like part of the chorus. But if you would, just let me know. I am not sure. Oh, was this the thing you mentioned on Discord a while ago? You know it is. You know, Joe couldn't keep this to himself. It's a fun idea. Adam says, I never owned anything that used SIPs. I had a 286 motherboard and a 386 motherboard that both used 30-pin SIPs. And then I actually posted on Twitter recently. Jeremy from Jeremy's Retro Bar when I was over at his place, he had a motherboard that had SIP sockets, but it also had adapter. He had the adapters that would convert the SIP to SIM. So if you absolutely wanted to, put them in you could use Sims with the board too. Yay! I got all the words out. All I gotta say, Joe, you're. Oh my gosh, we gotta talk Joe off the ledge here, y'all. Joe says, "Man, my vocals are rough," and I don't think that's true. I heard the song, I thought it was pretty good, and it was I think it sounded pretty good. But in any case, you gotta roll with the punches to get to what's real. That's what you gotta do. And then, can't you see me standing there? I got my back against the record machine. You ain't the worst that I've seen. I think you know what I mean. Or I think you see what I mean? Something like that. Anyway, I might as well jump. So, I think that it'll be a fun project. that Joe's got planned here. All right, so tested good. Another one tested good. So I've got three, or I've got one good sip. And I got one bad sip. So let's go ahead and let's test. Let's test some other stuff. I am bored. When will you put the album out, Ron? I don't know. I've got weird eclectic taste in music. I for whatever reason, I was listening to an NPR show recently, and they were just playing a bunch of stuff. Ronnie's saying, Ron, are you saying that Joe has a pretty voice? I mean, sure, why not? I mean, I'm willing to pay him a compliment like that. Joe's a nice guy. All right. So here, I also have some other memory, some high density kind of newer style 30-pin sims. So like, you know, in yon olden days, you had this higher density memory, or well, maybe that's the wrong term, but you had lower capacity per module, but more modules per chip, so higher cost. That which sucks. Prices were high and failures were high, and that sucked. So, but you can buy these even nowadays. This is probably more common what you might find. Damn, I'm having a hard time putting RAM in this holder. Like, what is the dealio? But these modules that have higher capacity chips, or higher density chips, maybe it's higher density chip versus higher chip density. Anyway, so these, you can test these on here as well. I have not tested any in this batch right here, so I would like to go through and maybe do some of these as well. 4x8 50 nanoseconds. So yeah, I've got quite a few 4 megers. My problem for a long time is I would go through things. You know what? I really love those 256 meg stick, or 256K sticks that came with the Mac Plus. They're huge. They're massive. They're massive. They have huge chips. They get hot. They're crazy. New memory ain't like that. So, Eric Miller says, try Tuvian throat singing. No, thank you. The Mongol, is that the Mongol throat singing? Mongolian throat singing? However that works. So Adam says, next time I visit the warehouse, are you talking about computer reset or your personal warehouse? I'm going to grab the IBM Pentium 3 box I got last year. Never even looked at it. Adam says, I avoid those 2-3 sims at all costs. I think, honestly, if it's a newer machine, they're much more forgiving. Like, I wouldn't have an issue with using those in like a SE. It'd probably work just fine. You may have some instability. I don't know. I would think that we're at the point in the game where you can certainly plug them in and test them. Just see. I don't know that it's gonna, that we're gonna lose anything, by giving it a shot. So, but yeah, no, I can understand. I think back in the day, people looked down on them because they were like, it's kind of cheap. Adam says, I call my storage place the warehouse. All right, fair enough. I think everybody has their little place where they got their stuff squirreled away. I went through today and took some pictures for Adam. And I took some pictures for xodium. I think xodium is finally going to go ahead and get me a 4400, which I'm really excited about. So I've got another project that I'm working on with Joe. Joe's going to take a look at fixing something for me, and then I'm going to try to use it in the 4400, because I think that this specific card is really recommended to go in the 4400 because it's like a full length 12-inch PCI card. So we will see. So we are testing away here on this Sticko RAM. There's another 4x8 50 nanosecond. That's not too bad. So. And it says, I can't get 2-chip 4 megabyte sims to work in my Quadra 700. I can see that. I actually, the Quadra 700 that I bought recently, or actually had I don't really know if I bought it. It was kind of more of a trade. But I got it recently. It's got it retro-brighted. I think it has it's got like 4 30-pin sim sockets from memory, and I think that there are 16 meg 30-pin sims in there. So I think it has like 40 megs because it's, or sorry, not 40 megs, but 36 megabytes because it's 4 megabytes on the board and then 32, 60, well, 32, 64, 68. What is the max memory in a Quadra 700? Actually, and I'll tell you what, if you Google the name of your machine, so you can say Quadra 700 specs Apple, either the first link is probably always going to be every Mac. Don't get me wrong. That's how search engine optimization works. But the second link is probably a support.apple.com article, and that is the old tech specs entry. So you can go out there. I use this all the time to go out here and just check things. It is not always correct. Because this here says that the max memory on a Quadra 700 is 20 megabytes. That can't be true. That can't be true. Because I'm fairly certain that my Quadra 700 has like 4 16 meg 30-pin sims in it. I could be... and it's a 68 megabyte max. Well, mine's got max. And then I actually just got a Silicon Insider VRAM. I max out the VRAM. I bought that $120 something kit that's got like the rainbow VRAM sims for that machine. Even though I've got a really nice Nubus video card that I got from Geek with Social Skills. Even though I've got that, I wanted to max it out because I really want to test. I've got that DOS card, and I want to put my DOS card in there, and I want to see if the video performance is better with onboard or with whatever you call it, the Nubus card. Adam says 68 megabytes max. That sounds right. And I have 68 megs in one of them and only 20 megabytes in the other. It's all right. It's all right. I love those Quadra 700s, though. What a great machine. I think the only thing that would have made it better is having 2 of them. So I think you've done it. Hey, it's xodium. Thanks, xodium. Thanks for showing up. All right. So Adam says Geek with Social Skills owes me a video card. What type of video card does he owe you? Oh, this is Lupin. We're doing super tests on this RAM. I think we're good. I think this RAM is good, y'all. Whoa! I got excited. All right. So my system is, after I test it, I put, because you see how the rest of these are contact up. When I test them, can't really do it with the SIPs, but I put it contacts down, so I know that I have tested this RAM. I really need to get some additional RAM trays or something, because, you know, storing everything in a plastic bag is kind of like, it's kind of making me sad. Joe asks a chemistry question. He says, xodium, do you explode in water? Asking for a friend. Is your friend any 1950s sort of monster kind of thing? Because I can't remember who they killed was xodium, one of those monsters, the old monster movies. Xodium says, I maybe this is wrong. I hate the Quadra 700 is wonderful. Save for putting the RAM slots under the floppy disk drive. Yeah, or save for putting the backup battery under the floppy drive. What, that was that was not a great idea. I certainly do not support the decision of like tucking things away, tucking explodey things away. Now, Quader 700. Here's what's great about it. It's got a good form factor. These days, having an internal CD. I mean, back in the day, it was very handy to get that off the top of your desk. But nowadays, you can CD emulation. You can do anything you want to do. The only thing that emulation doesn't get you is CD audio, but I don't know that I'm doing that very often. So like the Mac SD kind of addresses those type of things, but I'm not sure. Not sure it's that big of a deal. And if I had something where I had to use that, I got an external, 600E. I had several of them. I actually sent one to Sean from Action Retro because I kept watching him fumble with with like just laying CD drives on top machines. I was like, brother, I got an extra one. Just take it. so it helped him out. Which that's what I love about the community is everybody is just throwing things in and it's just, hey, I saw you did this thing and if I can help or would this be useful for you? I know people send Kate a lot of things just to kind of help her with like her channel and all that. So it's really good that people are doing that. I have complete. Oh, did I? Yeah. Okay. Finally, I know he's not here to watch it, and he hasn't been around for a bit, but Logan from Crazy Tech Reviews. I just got some stuff in the mail for him recently to help him with a project. So very excited to see him kind of keep things going. All right, the extensive test. It passed the extensive test. I like it. Another good one. I have so much RAMs. I have so much good RAMs. That's where it's at, I think. Oh yeah, it's not even in there. This is really tough to do upside down and backwards. Yeah, this is really tough to do upside down and backwards. Is that it? Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, great. Xodium says, Justin Morgan sent me a GeForce 4 Ti for my Quicksilver 4, completely out of the blue. Yeah, Justin Morgan's a nice guy. I think what happens is people kind of in the early days of your hobby, everybody's like a Smeagol, and they're kind of like, yes, I've got to, my precious, I've got to hang on. And then you get you got your sixth color classic, and you're kind of like, you know what, I could probably just move this down the line. There's probably somebody that needs one of these. It's the thrill of the rush, or the rush of the chase, or something like that, is kind of, I think, what keeps a lot of people going in this hobby. And then once you see, I got 600E down here. I need to move this. The thrill of the chase. I need to retrobrite that. I retrobrited the one that I sent to Sean, and I need to do that with the one I actually keep, or the one I actually use. So yeah, it's like the thrill of the chase, and you get all your stuff. You get all your white whales and stuff, and then you're just like, I can move that on down the line. I can help people. I can do this. I can do that. Because like right now, man, I have a stack of G3 iMacs that all need a home, but it ain't like you could ship it anywhere. So I guess come to Vintage Computer Festival Midwest next year, or come to Kansas Fest this year, and you'll probably have your opportunity to pick up one of those machines, free as in beer, or free as in, coffee, or something like that. So, but RetroTech Chris says, it's human nature in the scarcity concept. Once you have something, it's no longer scarce to you. And that's very true. That's very true. I know you kind of scrabble to get things, and then once you have them, you're kind of like, I got it, and I got to move on to the next thing. And it's the consumer mindset that that is kind of baked into Americans, that you have to, any lime G3s. I'll have to ask my friend Alan, because I don't see in color. so I can't really tell you what colors we have. We have some bluish ones. We have some reddish ones, maybe. I don't know if they're red. Maybe they're orange. I don't know. So I will have to ask Alan what we actually picked up in that collection. So a lot of that comes from Jeremy's Retro Bar, because he was trying to clear out some of his extra stuff. And so we went up there and loaded it all up in my mom's Nissan Cube. So it was like to the rafters with Emax and IMAX and G4 silver doors and all kinds of stuff. So we got a ton of that stuff, and it's coming to a show near you, as long as you live in the Midwest. So that way we can give away some of those things. All right, so we got another good one. This is making Dad happy. I'm gonna get through these. I'm gonna test those 72 pin simmer, or actually, this will make 4. So let's test this last one, and then let's switch to the 72 pin, because I want to show you that I want to show you that expansion module in action. I don't have any PC-133 memory to test, and actually I don't think I've ever been able to make that work. There might be something you have to do in the menus or something on the darn thing to make that all work, but we shall see. So I do like these. You can see here on the back that you can forego the built-in power brick, which it hangs off the back, you know, whether you're using it or not. But I think you can hook this up to a bench supply, so that way you don't have to do the things. I guess you could just take it apart and unwire this or unsolder it, something like that. But xodium says, at this point, if I ever get my Grail machines, I'm happy. 8696 G3 Mini Tower, but good luck finding one of those locally, at least. I see the G3 Mini Tower on occasion, and I pass them up because they look weird. They look like a Cro-Magnon kind of machine. I'm not from that era of Macs, so if other people like them, and that's fine. I'm not going to yuck somebody else's yum, but that bump on the top of it always looked really weird to me. So, but I understand people love them. So if I find one, I'll be sure to let you know. If my friend ends up at VCF Midwest, I may ask him to grab an iMac from you. If you want to hand one off to him on my behalf, I am certain that we could work something out, man. I'm fairly certain that we could do that. You guys might have seen him. He was at the weather station thing at VCF East. Long-haired dude named Ethan. Cool dude. And broke Action Retro's Minecraft exhibit, I hear. So I'm sure Action Retro knows who he is. For sure. So yeah, for sure, we will work that out. Oh, his name isn't Ethan, the guy that I guess broke the thing. Tech Knight was part of the other exhibit, but he's not Ethan. So Ethan is how Tech Knight got that Mac TV. Yeah, that's another weird machine. I remember I saw one at an Office Max or something like that, and I was kind of like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then it was like, oh, it's another LC. It's another LC. What is the point? I guess I've never seen anybody do it, but I'm fairly certain that you could very easily pull that board out of the Mac TV and replace it with a different board from a better machine and have your cool all black, Mac from that era. But I just, so many compromises just for it to be a television, a really expensive television. So, but I guess if you're Apple, this one tested good too. I guess if you're Apple, you can take those kind of chances and do those kind of things just because you can. All right, so we have tested quite a few. Well, I guess I'll probably put it on camera. We've tested quite a few 30-pin sims. Or at least I tested this first little bank of 4. So these are all 4x8. So this will be a good bank for people to want, or if you got an older machine, probably these higher density chips might be good. These all test good as well. So those will probably be up for grabs. I'm going to do 2 drawings. I do one for 30, like first pick gets it. So somebody wants 30-pin sims, I'll send them 30-pin sims. Somebody wants 72-pin sims, send them a set of 72-pin sims. We will figure it out. So, all right, let me get this out of the way. And I'm going to have to do some technical jiggery pokery here. Oh, I got to take my headphones off. Alright. So, I have disconnected the power from the sim check, and I'm going to, which direction can I move this and still make things viewable? You guys know what the buttons look like now. That's not the exciting part of this endeavor. Okay, sorry, because I'm looking at it backwards. Hey, you can see all my little doodads and drawings up here. Fun. One of Javier's feet for the disk drives. Okay, so this is powered off. Let's go ahead and let's get this other module connected. Hey, that was easy. And what we end up with is you have to have this original module, which is a little warm from all that testing. Let's bring the camera back so you guys can actually see what's going on here. Hey, looky there. Hey, you can kind of see my terrible tripod here as well. Is this good? Is this better? I mean, you kind of know what the menus look like now, so I'm not sure how exciting that is to see. But, okay, so we have this other, let's make sure that everything is turned off. Okay, that is turned off. All right, so now the auxiliary power supply module, if anybody wants to see what that looks like, it is just a generic module. It is +9 at 2.3 amps, and it doesn't really show. I would sure hope it's center positive, because there's a few knuckleheads that have made their devices the outer part positive. I think that's caused some grief for people. It is my experience that this thing is much more reliable at testing if you connect the ground. So we are going to connect the ground here. I do not know if anything bad will happen if you don't. But I have had sims that were good test bad because the ground wasn't connected. Anecdotally. But they have a ground on here for a reason. And I figure that that is a good enough reason as any to connect the ground. A floating ground is never a good thing. Okay, so here we go. So we have our auxiliary power going in. We have our ground connected. We have, I'll tell you what, man, I love these really terrible old screwdrivers that I think I picked these up at like Walmart or something 1,000 years ago, and I still use these. I have the original power brick disconnected, so we are ready to test with this other thing. So I think we power it on over here. Yeah, we've got stuff on the screen over here now. So we are now ready to test. I think you can test both. We do have our on light over here, so we are getting proper power. I think you can still test 30-pin sims while this is all connected. I don't have any reason to believe that they would do this, specifically screw people up, or do this. But I do have some double-sided memory, and I have some single-sided memory. I'm going to just separate that out from one another, just for in case I gotta do any kind of troubleshooting. Also, probably separate out these lower density modules from these higher density modules. Okay, there's a lower, kind of some lower density double-sided modules. Here's a bunch of higher density. I hope I'm using that word correctly, but I sure think that that's how you say it, is if the module has a lot of chips, it's high density. And if it's fewer chips, it's just like, but higher capacity, it's capacity. Anyway, leave your furious refutes of my bad terminology in the comments. Center negative is the stuff of the devil, straight from Beelzebub's bunghole, and I agree, because everything else is like, you know, I mean, it's fine if you want to do that, but you better make sure that everything that is ever going to touch has got a fuse. It's got a fuse there for when you hook it up backwards. So, this here, I actually might take 2 seconds and see if I can glue this, because I sure think that's the one. Is that not the one? Is that not the one? Because I think I broke this the last time I was playing with this, and I thankfully kept all the stuff. This one's broke too, so there's like no telling. Yeah, okay, this is the one that's broke over here. Oh, I'm doing this like you can see it. This is the tab that broke on this one. I think it broke in shipping, even though, I mean, it came from Canada. You know those guys. They got a lot going on up there. And for whatever reason, it arrived broke, and it was very unfortunate. Yeah, I sure think that's it. Yeah, I sure think that's it. I'll have to repair that sometime. I'm glad I found those. I'm glad I held on to those, because knowing me, I just lose stuff all the time. It's very frustrating. Okay. Man, I'll tell you what, doing this backwards, this has been a real bugaboo, you guys. Okay, it's actually in there. All right, so let's see what happens. All right, what does this say? Oh man, I can't even read it. It's too far away now. Let's bring that camera back in just ever so slightly. And let's bring this brightness down ever so slightly. Oh, I still can't read it. Oh, Lord. What's it say? It says 1x32. So what the heck's that mean? 4 megabyte module. Yeah, it probably broke as soon as it... I'll blame Canada with all their beady little eyes and flapping heads so full of lies. So 1x32? Where's Hulkintosh with the math? Pretty sure that means 4 megabyte. So, oh yeah, hey, there's Britt Dodd. Hey, Britt, how's it going, sir? Thank you. Britt is probably my, he's my top donor on Patreon, because I think it's I think Britt gives me like $5 a month, which is really nice, because every penny just goes right back in the pockets of other great creators. So. And RetroTech says, hashtag offended. I didn't make that up, man. That was South Park the movie. I take no responsibility. Actually, if anything, Canada seems like we couldn't ask for a better hat. We could not ask for better neighbors to the north. I know that Rudy is up there as well. Rudy from Rudy's RetroTech. He 32-bit RAM. 32-bit RAM is 32-bit RAM. Hey, thanks, Adam. I appreciate it. Thanks for getting that all worked out. Now, what I'm asking about is 1x32. That's 4 megabyte, right? 2x32 is 8. 4x32, 16. 8x32 is 32 megabytes. I would look it up. 1x32, 72-pin sim. Yeah, 4 megabytes. Or what? 1 by 32 is 4 megabyte. See, I had that right. And it is, so 2 by 32 is 8 megabyte? Yeah. And 4 by 32 is 16 megabyte. And 8 by 32 is 32 megabyte. So gosh, what is 16 by 32? Probably more money than I will ever have. Actually, there was somebody I saw on Twitter the other day that went ahead and said that they're making 128 meg, 32 meg Sims to go ahead and max out all these projects people have, like all these old machines. So good for them. Because I think we need more of that stuff before we're at the end of the road. A lot of that stuff's just going to recyclers, and people are just, like the pennies of gold content on all that. I kind of famously, I saw a picture that had it was like a box of e-cycle, and it was like, hey, check out what's on top. And what it was a bunch of AW32 cards that someone had just taken the electric scissors or the electric shears and just went and just shaved off the card edge of the ISA card just to get a couple like a penny's worth of gold, when they had very obviously like $100, $150 sound card, maybe more, depending on what revision it was. But yeah, it's I guess people short-sightedness of some people and all that. So hey, we're getting a list of great Canadians in chat right now. Richard from the Old Net is another great Canadian. I would say 65 Scribe. If you've ever seen his channel, if you haven't, sorry, but you should definitely check it out. Quinn is another great Canadian, but she currently lives in California, so she's a transfer. So thank you, Quinn, for coming to the United States, because it's good to have more of our nerdy friends here. I cannot for the life of me read what this screen says. What is it doing? Loop number 9. It is testing the crap out of this RAM, y'all. But it says 50 nanosecond, 4 megabyte module. I'm going to say that is not super useful for Javier. So I'm going to set it aside. Actually, maybe a good time to talk about this. I use wood top table for anything I'm going to do stuff like this on, just because the reduced chances of building up static electricity. So you can really kind of test things and not worry about too much about hurting something. So John says Quinn Blondie Hacks is her channel. So yeah, definitely check that out. So we need more people in the community doing fun things. So this one even says on it 1 by 32 6. So the warranty's void if removed, y'all. So we might have a problem there. Data manufacturer, at least, or whatever this says here, it says 528 of 95. Why isn't it used for 15 nanoseconds faster than he needs? Yeah, it's true, but he only has one. He has two 72-pin SIM slots, so I need to send him something where he can max out the RAM on the machine. So I'm pretty sure I need to send him like two 32 meg modules, something like that. We'll see what I actually have. I don't know that I have that aren't in use in a machine that high a capacity a module. Joe could probably chime in with what he actually had, because Joe was the one that worked on it, unless Joe didn't send him any RAM, in which case he's probably like 16 megs or something like that. It's Javier, man. He just wants it maxed out. He wants it to be the best, so that way that he doesn't have to worry about it anymore. And you know what? I don't blame him. 50 nanosecond. The Mystic has a single RAM slot. So, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's two VRAM slots. One. Well, he says he wants to max the RAM out. So he was asking me to send him RAM. So I don't know what he's thinking then. At first I thought he was asking me to send him some RAM, 30-pin RAM to max out the Color Classic board. And I was like, oh yeah, that's like 2 4 meg sims. I'll send you that, no problem. And he was like, oh no, the Mystic. We got to max out the Mystic. So I don't know. He might have. He probably might have a 32 meg stick. He probably might need a second 32 meg stick. I don't mind helping him out. He's a nice guy. It'll take a 64 or a 128. Well, I certainly don't have a 128 meg 32 pin sim even for myself, let alone one to give away. But yeah, I would sure think that yeah, 32 meg is already kind of silly for that because it gets you to 36 megs, even with like 761, which is probably like the last OS I'd really run on that machine. 755 is probably the way to go, I would say, but 761, yeah, you're gonna be hard pressed to like run it out of memory. I mean, just for like I'm gonna play a game, I'm gonna like play around in Frog Find or something like that. It's I don't know. I bought one of Joe's the rear case things for the Mystic. He sent it to me. He didn't even sign it. I'm just thinking, dude, like you have a golden opportunity to like, you know, kind of poke a little fun at all those like. I opened the machine and it's got autographs inside. Is this rare? Like poke a little fun at those folks, but He chose not to. I don't get that. I have a friend that took that, spent a bunch of money and went and took that Bob Ross, you know, art class, and I bought a painting. I bought a painting from him in the Bob Ross style, and he didn't even sign it. I was like, do I need to send it back? He's like, oh, I just didn't think about signing. I'm like, dude, like sign your work. I didn't want to mar it up with marker, dude. It's so pretty. If you sign the inside, especially if you were to sign the little area by where the knockout is for the networking or the PDS slot, because if somebody is going to put it in and use it, hi Rudy, sorry, I'm not meaning to ignore you. I got sidetracked. They're going to knock that out and then they'll put it in a drawer and it's a keepsake. So I'm just telling you, you should sign those. You did all the work of finding that filament. By gosh, you should take the tiniest bit of credit for it. Okay, this is a 4x32. So what did they say again? 4x32 is what? 4x32 is 16 megabyte. Well, looky there. So this is, all right, so this is a 4. And this is a 16. All right, let's keep testing. This one says this is another 1 by. So we will see. Test that out. Joe says, I take credit by taking credits. And Adam says, I don't want people scribbling on my computer stuff. Well, tough shit. Demonetized. I'm going to scribble on everything. Adam, I'm going to write on it with disappearing, reappearing ink. So when it gets to your house, you're going to think everything's fine. And then a couple days later, boom, you now have Marvin Acme's will written all over your brand new Performa 520. Yeah, I read that the other day. Adam says if someone gave me an Apple One that had Waz's signature on it, he'd remove the signature. And there's that guy that keeps posting on Twitter. I think it's the Apple Resource or what I can't remember the guy. Yeah, don't worry, xodium. Your G3 is going to be signed. The I don't know what the deal is. He's very proud of it, and I guess if you do have an Apple One, that is like a point of pride to have that. But people keep bringing him to Woz to sign as if he like hand built them himself. Um, I think that there is a guide out there that kind of shows like production order of who might have been there and assembling things that day, but it ain't like Woz was there, you know, like off duty from Hewlett Packard, like, you know, soldering those things together. I mean, he might have done a few in the very beginning, but I don't know. Yeah, Woz didn't invent the 6502. Yeah, it's very true. And I've seen some, and I did see the one where he signed the it's like a white 6502, and he signed on the top of it or something like that. Um, and then there's other ones that are up by like the breadboard area where he signed up there. I think that's the one that was at Vintage Computer Festival Midwest, because that couple that came in that had that, um, they only allowed pictures. They didn't want to allow video. So I know that some people took video of it, but they didn't want to have their picture taken with it. They would let you take pictures of it, but they didn't want you to like, they wouldn't do interviews or anything like that. It was very strange, and they were only there a little bit and then they were gone. So I can only assume it is because they were like, there's not really security at this thing. How much is that really worth? What did one sell for recently? Like quite a bit of money, over a couple $100,000 or something. For them to just show up with that at a show and let people just like get like from me to my desk away from it and take a look. So it was really neat to see, and it was signed up in the breadboard area. But yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it either. All right, so we have another 40 meg. All right, let's try some of these lower density sort of things. There is a chip in the middle, so it makes me wonder if this is because all these other ones I think are fast page mode. Maybe this one's EDO. I don't know for sure, but we will find out. Oh, come on. Only the first 100 Apple ones was officially worked on. Oh, that's interesting. Let's see what this says. This says 2 by 32. Okay, and as we figured out, 2 by 32 means 8 megabyte. So I have a little stack of 4s. I have 116 sitting here, and soon I'll have some 8s. I don't know, these higher capacity ones. This one says... This one, I don't even know. It's just got some handmade notes on it. So yeah, I don't know. Those two match. I don't know where I got some of this RAM. What's the DWP? What are you guys talking about? Seriously, Joel says, seriously, I googled DWP and I couldn't find anything that made sense. Dead White Press. Yeah, fair enough. Cold Hard Cash. Black Gold, Texas Tea. So I have recently finished DS9, recently finished Invincible, and started the Expanse, which is an interesting show. I think I'm at the end of the first season, so I guess since the show's done, this is the perfect time to watch it, because I don't have to wait for additional seasons to come out. So Eric Miller says, ketchup, Ron. Adam says, Ron, you should plug a 30-pin SIP into a SIM adapter into a 30-pin adapter and then test it. You know, actually, I thought about bringing one home because I do have a PC-133 to 72-pin SIM adapter, or like a SIM tree, I think is what we used to call those. And then I do have a couple of 30-pin to 72-pin ones as well that are faced back to back. So I could put a two 30-pin into a 72-pin and two 72-pin into a like PC-133 or PC-100 adapter, the 168-pin. And yeah, I could do that. I'm not sure why. I mean, other than to see this machine like flip out. All right, so those are 8 megabytes, and that tested good. So let's test the other one just to say that they have been tested. Because I've just had this big RAM, or the big box of RAM for flipping ever at work. I've been waiting to do some testing. Sorry, I'm having to tip that up so I can actually read what it says. RetroTech Chris says, Rudy, Intel and I need to do that PC convertible. Do that with my PC convertible or one of my LTE 5000 laptops. And all right, I don't know why I said Intel, because it's Rudy's Retro Intel. It needs to put a space or a dash there or something on the dark mode chat. But yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Go to like Dunkin' Donuts. That's what Rudy was suggesting. You go to Dunkin' Donuts with your RAM tester and all your RAM, just sit there and test RAM. I guess you could if you're into that. Fast page mode feature test. Yeah, it's gonna go through. It's gonna do the additional testing, which we don't really need to do. It's probably good enough. All right, so let's test some of these. Like, these are not as high a density as... Sorry, I gotta figure out which hand is which hand in the camera. So let's test. I've only got 2 of these other ones, so let's test these first. And let's see. Okay. So this says 2 by 32. Yuck. Man, that's a huge old 8 megger. What are you gonna say, babe? Basic test says okay. Type. Yeah. 2 bank. Yada yada yada. It's giving me some extended information. I don't really know that any of it really matters. It's an 8 meg. 8 meg. It's actually, I don't know that it did the full test that time. Let's give it another shot. Oh, that's funny. I put up a sign that says, "We'll test RAM for coffee." Xodium says, Dunkin's, meet up when? I would say 10 a.m. Pick a Dunkin' Donuts somewhere within like an hour of my house, and I'll be there. Oh, golly. Oh, man, what a Friday. All right, so it's another 8 meg chip. That tested okay. Test this other one out. This is the thrill a minute, folks. Actually, I think it'd be really good. I think I'm going to bring this to a Vintage Computer Festival Midwest and just have a like a RAM testing station. And quarter a stick. I'll test your RAM. Or just have a table for donations. You really have to have somebody sit there, though, because, man, it's easy to break this stuff. It's really Very fragile. Adam says, Ron, you should put everything on your desk into a backpack and then try to pass through TSA checkpoint. Yeah, I probably could. I mean, I don't think that they'd flip out too much about like RAM tester and things. Like they'd want to take it out and they'd want to look at it. I am not sure that there's anything in here that they couldn't X-ray. Maybe I would sure be worried about the EEPROMs in this getting wiped. So, but I would certainly say yes. You may take it apart and take a look. But something like this, it would be probably a good idea to mail this ahead if you were going to get on a plane. Thankfully, it is just a 5.5, 6 hour drive for me to get to Vintage Computer Festival Midwest. It's only taken me like 6 months to be able to say it without having to like see each word in my mind as I do that. Oh man. Adam says they wigged out when I had a 16-port network switch and a bunch of cables in my bag. Well, yeah, man. If you just open up a thing and you saw that and you don't know anything about all that networking stuff, yeah, they'd probably flip out. But I think these days I wouldn't just wait for them to find it. I would say, hey, I need an agent. Can somebody come over and take a look? Because I'm going to explain to you what this thing is that I'm about to show you. And then you can go from there. Rudy says you should back up the EEPROMs on that baby. Maybe. I'm pretty sure you can just reflash it, though. I mean, the stuff's out there. I mean, this is not like a one-of-a-kind piece of equipment here. So I'm fairly certain that... it's doing the chip heat test right now. I am fairly certain that you could find the EEPROMs for this, burn new versions, and I'm sure that there's new versions of the software because the manual that comes with this says that they do release they do release updates from time to time, and you will have to put the new chips in. So JCM1, is that your little board computer you're working on? Joseph, is that the machine you're working on? Is that some kind of bomb, sir? Okay, let's test this. This says, ooh, 8 by 32. Nice. I do need... It would be great to have some 32 mix 72-pin sims. So, 8 by 32. We're in business if this is what Javier needs. Joe says, yeah, my single board computer, it's all wire wrapped and sus. Yeah, probably so. I would be, you know what, actually, though, I think that if you were to try to go through regular TSA, you would probably have some issues. If you were to go through pre-check, you probably would not have as many issues. They're very easy to work with over there. You can you go up there and you've already had like the big background checks done. So, you know, like you get up there and they don't ask you if you have any fruit to declare. They just want to know they just want to know where you're headed. So, and I think that they'll hand sort your bag and things like that if you ask. So I think the last time that I flew, I did get stopped for like additional sort of checks, and there was a guy that was like, hey, you went through the backscatter, and we kind of noticed like a shadow, and it was kind of in the crotch region, and I am not bragging and I'm not making a joke, but they were like, it's not what you think. And I'm like, well, what could it possibly be? And he goes, well, that's what we're going to discern. So I'm going to touch near your crotch with the back of my hands to see. And I was like, you know what? I've been married 20 plus years. This is the most action I've had in a while. Go for it. And he was like, and the whole time he's like, sir, I'm very sorry, sir. I was like, it's okay. It's okay, dude. We're okay. We're going to get through this. I promise. So, all right. What are we doing here? It's use 40-bit ports. Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. You can go into the thing. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. When you hook up the other module, you got to specifically tell it to use the 40-pin port so that way you can test that other RAM. So, okay. 32 megas. Nice. Nice. Okay. This one, there was one of these that had similar sort of markings. Yeah, it's this one. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's try this one. Oops, probably got to put it in the correct way. Let's try this one and see if it is also one of them there. Oh, come on. This one's like a real bugaboo. Getting those in there now. Do I have it backwards? No, surely not. Surely it couldn't be anything I'm doing wrong. Yeah, I had it backwards. All right, this one's 8x32 as well. I was pretty sure that those were identical. Yes, Zephram Cochran. I don't even like to fly. I take trains. Yeah, I invented warp technology because I wanted to spend my retirement on a like it's post, no offense, but it's post World War III, and you seem to have a pretty good thing going there in Montana or wherever you were hanging out, like hiding from all the cannibals and you know and all that. That you think you could just go and find Andy Dufresne and retire on a beach somewhere with money and like how money, like who is gonna buy warp technology from you, Zephram Cochran, you big dummy? Yeah, Adam says I took 160 plus flights last year. Yeah, you're always flying, man. I only fly like when I'm working, when I'm like if I get an invite to go to see my friends out in Colorado, I'll fly because it's just too long to drive. But I've had a couple of acting gigs that were only from the Midwest, so it's like, oh, it's a 10-hour drive, no problem. So drove like 10 hours to go work and come back home. I did one acting gig last year where I spent more money on travel and hotels than I got paid for the gig. So, but it was fun. It was a nice couple days away. So, and I got to visit a town in Texas that has like a tomato festival. The tomato festival was not going on, but it was a very charming little town. So I had a good time. I was really glad I went. And just recently got cast in another movie thanks to my friend Greg Talley. And supposedly I don't have any lines. So it's a friend of a friend kind of thing. And I'm basically like a mute guy who hangs out, comic relief, something like that. I'm sure we'll be acting. You act with your face. You act with your whole body. So we will see how that goes. Xodium says, I've only been on 2 flights. My worst recent was to Texas in late 2019. I don't ever want to do that again. I don't know why not. Flying's great. It's a lot of fun. I think everybody should take a flight into Burbank. Just because it is like the shortest runway that you can think of. And Adam, have you ever flown into Burbank? I'll wait for you to catch up. I'll wait for chat to catch up. The airport at Burbank is all set up for prop planes. So you have to think that when a modern jet hits their runway, I mean, I'm not joking. It's like a right-hand turn to like get down to the runway, and then it is like every flap is up, the brakes are on, engines full reverse, so that you don't come flying off the end of the runway onto like the interstate. So, so yeah, it is an exciting flight. I think like the second time I flew into Burbank. Adam, we should meet in Burbank sometime and go and do Price is Right, because that was a lot of fun. That was, I think, the last time I was in Burbank. I flew out and I did Price is Right, and I did not get called on stage, but it was neat to sit in the audience and cheer people on and just kind of like just guess at all the pricing games. So it was a good time. I really enjoyed it. Okay, 8x32 as well, and it's past. It was doing the exhaustive test there again. So we got that. All right, let's test. I got a weird one here that is. I got one here that's not like the others. So let's test it on its own. Let's see what it does. This one says 8x32 as well. So I like that. Secret Chicken says, hey, didn't you say you were going to visit Mac84? Is that a long drive? Yes, that is a crazy long drive. And I am going to drive out there. I've actually got some friends that are going out there for a family reunion. I'm going to tag along with them. And then I should be able to break away. I've got another friend that lives out that way. So, because there's some of that family reunion stuff I'm not going to be able to go to. So, I'm going to break away for a day or two, meet up with my other friend, and then they'll probably get me down to Steve's, and then I'll spend the day there, and we'll collaborate or work on something. We're still trying to work out exactly what we're doing, but even if it's just me and Steve getting together and having a chat and having a good time, I think it'll make for compelling viewing. And I have a lot of stuff to drop off for Steve, and that may actually be the focus of the video, is going through and testing some of these purchases that he made at Vintage Computer Festival Midwest. Like he bought a couple of Flower Power, rather, iMacs. He also bought a 512KE, like complete inbox from Retromole. And he also, there's a couple of other things, and there's some other stuff that I've picked up for him too, kind of in exchange for work. Like I've got a 9600 to drop off for him. I've also got I think a power computing machine to drop off for him, and some other little doodads and odds and ends, and we'll see how it goes. I think like a duodock, or there was something else. I can't remember what all he got, but I got a big stack of crap at work that's got to go. So it will be going to him soon. Rudy, the last time I was on a flight with a private jet pilot, he almost got the shit kicked out of him by TSA. Because he refused, and this is like I think the last time I flew was probably in 2020, like early 2020. And I was out there in, and this says 2x32. I was out there in Colorado, Grand Junction, getting ready to fly back. Grand Junction is a beautiful airport. And I got out there, and it was my travel time was all screwed up. And I got out there. It's wine country, okay? And I went and I bought like a snack. I bought a stroopwafel, and I also bought like a bottle, like a little tiny bottle of wine, but like an adult sized portion of wine. And I went over there and I sat down. And I was snacking on my stroopwafel, and I was drinking my wine out of a little. They give you you can put it in a glass if you want. And I was like, I want ice in my glass, even though it was already chilled. So I'm sitting there drinking like white Zen out of a cup, like a Dixie cup with ice in it, and this woman is giving me like just like daggers, and I was like, what is the deal? And I look at it was 9:30 in the morning on a Sunday. Sorry. It's when I wanted wine and a stroopwafel. I'm sorry. So that was not great. But that was the flight where there was a pilot for some private airline that was also on the flight. He had his little bag, he had credentials, everything like that. Everybody was all suited up. Everybody was masked up. And I'm fairly certain that this was like, I was wearing like an N95, and I was wearing a cloth mask over the top. And so we went, it's as opposed to a child-sized portion of wine. This isn't that crypto island, so I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. But uh, everybody was masked up, everything. That guy was masked up. He's got like, I mean, he looks like a plane chauffeur, like he's like a pilot. So, and he had like his credentials and everything hanging. And so we get on the plane, and this is just like a little like connecting flight plane. So it's like it's like not a huge plane. And the guy took his mask off, and then was like, he refused to put the mask back on. And everybody on the plane was like, "What are you doing?" Like, and he was like, and I don't think I ever really heard him say anything, but it was basically like he was very like, and the air stewardess came back, or the air steward, maybe, not trying to be sexist. I'm not really, I don't fly enough to know the terminology, but the host came back and was like, "You're gonna have to put your mask on." And I guess was something to the effect of, "No, I don't have to." And so it went back and forth for a while, and they were like, "Well, listen, here's the thing. When you got on the plane, you had it on. When you go through TSA, we have signs out front that say you have to wear it the whole time. So you've agreed, by making it this far, you've agreed to these rules. You can't just change your mind at the last second." And so the guy is like, oh, sorry, I put that in the wrong pile. Those are 8 megas. And the guy is like very adamant that he is not going to put the mask on. And so they were like, "Well, we're going to have to ask you to flight attendant." Thank you, Chris. And Joe, both. And Adam as well. That you're going to have to leave the flight. And he was like, "No, I'm not going to leave the flight either." And so he's like, and so the flight attendant was like, "I'm sorry, this is it. I'm gonna go ask the pilot, and the pilot's gonna ask you, pilot to pilot, if you don't respect my authority here, they'll ask you on my behalf." And so she went and got him. Pilot came out, and he's like, "You're gonna have to put your mask on." He refused again. He goes, "Here's the deal. This is the last time we will ask." And it's like an hour. It's like an hour. And my time between flights on my connecting flight was 35 minutes. 35 minutes difference. So we're an hour behind schedule. So it goes ahead, and he's like, "All right." So they get like TSA, and TSA came in there, and like they reached down and unbuckled the stuff and just put a hand under both armpits and picked him up and just carried him out. And then we got on the road, or in the air, however you want to put it. But yeah, hold on. That was doing the exhaustive test again. Ah, that's a 2 by 32. Okay, so here we go. I have several 32 meg sticks that I could potentially send to Javier. Those are all tested. They all tested good. I also have one 16 meg stick. That's kind of okay. I got a whole mess of 8 meggers. I'm not sure how useful those are. I guess if you had some very certain machines, it wouldn't be too bad. So, all right, and then some 4 meggers. So I will have to label all that one of these days. So I think that will be the way to go. But we are coming up on the 2-hour mark here. So this is probably as good a place as any to go ahead and end it for this evening. I really want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out, and for just kind of putting up with me this evening as I kind of fumbled with all this stuff. But I again, the offer stands. If you have some Sims that you would like tested, and like you have some things you don't know 100% about the reliability of, just reach out to me. I'm more than happy. Like, because I think by the time I was done, that I paid international shipping from Canada, and I bought these units, and because I think somewhere there's even like a little case that all this was in, that I, for the life of me, cannot find. It is somewhere. I'm going to go to Lowe's tomorrow, I think, and buy like a plastic box to put this all in, so I can stop misplacing it. I will definitely tell you that I'm more than happy to test any kind of RAM that you've got, and I'm even willing to maybe do a little bit more research on how to make this this work. Actually, let me see. I may have a PC-133 module laying here that I could test. Maybe. I don't know. Is that what this is? Is this a PC-133 module? Ooh, baby. Love it. All right, let's try that. Let's do that before we end the show here. Let's go ahead. We're going to disconnect that. Let's go ahead and let's disconnect the power over here. Yeah, I know. The best part of a YouTube stream is when you can't see what the people are doing. But that's why I went with 2 cameras tonight, so at least you could look at my ugly mug while I'm doing some of this rigmarole. Okay, so we're going to need this jumper wire, or jumper connector. Let's go ahead and let's get this all connected. Again, probably more things happening off screen. Damn it, Ron. You got to get better at your showmanship. All right. So there's that. Oh, man, everything's shaking. I hit the webcam. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get... Oh, wait. No, I better put this back on before I lose it. There's a little... screw that threads in with the power connector and stuff over here, the auxiliary power. But this also has bench supply stuff, so it's just like little banana plugs that go in there. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's get... I'm just doing the same thing. Will it test my 4164s? No. Let's make sure. Is this off? It's off. Good. All right. Yeah, ground lug. Yeah, gotta connect the ground. Again, I think that I had an issue at one time where it just simply did not want to, like, it would give inconsistent results if you did not have the ground connected. And yeah, this is... Got a floaty ground here on this one. I need go for chucks. I need probably another little washer in there or something. This may cause us an issue. That might be the problem I was having with this, but I don't remember. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're gonna power this on, and then I think I need to go over here on the thing, and I need to... I need to go, and I need to, wait, test setup. No. I need to go, and I need to look at the, you have to tell it to use the other slot. Yeah, okay. All right, let's see what I can do here. All right, let's see what happens when I get some of this crap out of the way. God, who put this here? Oh, all right. Get everything in frame. Yeah, that seems like how I would do a stream. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get this module in there, and let's see what happens. Okay, what do you say? What are you saying, girl? What is it? Error, no memory. F1 is the basic test. Come on. Let's see. You have to give me a minute because I got to read. If you hit F3, it says SimCheck demo program. F1 accelerates the display. All right. So hold on. F2. Okay, let's get to the setup. I know this is super exciting, y'all. Auto speed, size, memory, all types. Yeah, that's good. Let's see. Test type, test setup, diagnostic, test flow, test setup, diagnostics. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. I guarantee that there's some manner of guide that I could read that would probably tell me. Okay. Oh, Just Morgan says, hey, I just got done having fun with RAM, and it turned out to be the FPU. Hey, isn't that fun? Isn't that great? Alright, so let's see. I could swear I will have to read the manual, I guess, on how to do this. But yeah, I sure don't. I think if I pop this out, I'll get the exact same error. Yeah. And you know, I honestly don't know if this module here works. Let's swap it real fast. I've got that other module. I've got that other tester. And you know, from memory, the owner of this, or the original owner, said that there might have been some issues with one of these. I sure don't know, but I am sure happy to find out. All right, more wonderful things happening off camera. All right, so there's that. Let's go ahead and let's get the power in here. Of course, I have to get the screw back out. Try not to, oh my lord, almost dropped it. I'd lose it on this carpet. This carpet is where screws go to die. They're never found again. It's the island of misfit screws. Okay. Alright, so there we go. We have our power. We got all the stuff. Looking good. Power on. Okay. Alright, let's see what happens with this other module. Nope. Ain't no likey. Okay, I swear to you, test DRAM card. I swear. Okay, use 40-pin port. Okay, there's an option for me to do that. Use the 40-pin port. Error, no memory. Use 40-pin port. It says it's detecting that there's something in the 40-pin port, which is what that auxiliary connection is. Use 40-pin port. Okay, well, what happens if I take this out and then turn this on? Self-test okay. Oh, did you see that? Did you see that? Nice. Error, no memory. Okay. There might be a problem with this module. You know, I just don't know. I've never been able to successfully use it. It does say 3.3 volt. So I guess maybe it's possible if I'm using a 5 volt? What? There's no way. Here, these two caps are touching each other. You will not touch one another. Alright, so let's see. You will come with me, Dr. Jones. Alright, here we go. Let's try it again. Well, module power this time. Well, you know, I might just not have the right type of module that this thing needs. Anyway, I've wasted another 10 minutes on this. So, okay, well, I'm going to do some reading on this guy. Again, I've never made this work, and you know, PC 133 memory is so abundant and cheap. It's never really mattered to me. So I didn't buy it for this. It just came with this, just in case. Well, let's make sure. Let's go ahead and let's pull all that out, and let's go ahead and let's drop another Simmeroony in there. Let's make sure. Well, it don't like it. Well, now it likes it. No, error. F. All right, hold on. All right. I get you. All right, it's doing the RAM or it's doing the BIOS check. Yeah, and okay, and now it's testing the RAM. Okay, so I guess when you have this in there, it does some squirrelitude, and I don't like that. All right, so anyway, I will look into that and report back. But we have accomplished tonight's mission, which is to test some RAM and identify some RAM. And it will be the mission now on Monday to give away some RAM based on people actually following the instructions of the giveaway. So we will see if people do or not. So anyway, everybody, thank you again. I really appreciate your time and hanging out with me for all this time. It's literally been like 2+ hours. So I want to thank everybody for coming by, and everybody have a wonderful evening. Remember, as I always say, Apple II forever. I hope that you guys have a wonderful weekend. Maybe we'll get together again. Maybe I'll do like a live stream, maybe play some games or something tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, everybody, thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.